I want to explore the experience of this game, which I discovered from searching multiple hours in the Steam store page. And I was searching for this experience partly because this is the type of experience I have wanted for a very long time. And secondly, I really need this type of experience now because I am experiencing some mental exhaustion. And I liked the way this game was described in the Steam store page. And I did play very, very briefly just to test that this game does function, because the Proton DB web link said that this game has not been reported as functioning on non-Windows machines. So I have been searching for this game experience for much of my life, which is a much more relaxing and much more user friendly game experience. And my best guess why this experience greatly relaxes me, my mind can feel easily overwhelmed or easily exhausted. And too many games in my experience, both in my recordings in this YouTube channel, and with games I have played and not recorded. I greatly struggle with the user experience. And another reason why I believe this experience relaxes me is because there are much less decisions required from me. So I do not know how many other people can relate, but when you have played as many games as I have, for many hours, then any negative user experience, which includes high friction user interface and includes overly complex systems with poor communication. They create great mental exhaustion for me. And those negative user experiences, they might not be a problem in isolation for one game if I only experienced them once, or if I experienced them a few times. But one of my common struggles with games is that if I like a game enough and I have the time to commit to those games, then naturally I will want to play those games much more. And the more I play my games, the much more amplified all of these small negative user experiences. So any frustrations I feel, any difficulties, any friction with games, any understanding poorly communicated, any absent feedback loops, then all of my struggles become multiplied the more I play those games. And that can make me feel very stressed. That can make me feel very exhausted very quickly. And when I have a full-time job, or maybe I have other life struggles that also exhaust my mind, then then I am much less likely to tolerate game experiences that cause me more fatigue and cause me more stress. And I believe I regularly need to relax my mind. I currently have stopped engaging with movies. I do not watch TV shows. I do not read books. And I rarely listen to music. So these games, they are often the best opportunities for me to relax my mind. And I like this game I am playing now. I forget the name. It was row something. But I like the design of this game space because there seems to be no decision required by me to successfully navigate this space, because this is just a straight path. I dislike that in most or in all other games I have played, the space that I must navigate, they are more complex than I would like. So those games could have very open spaces and no clear communication about which direction I may want to travel. And the more decisions and more confusions I experience, the more that drains my mind. And as I have described at least briefly in my other YouTube videos in this channel, this row game captures many of the experiences I highly value. So most of the games I have recorded and played, those games have a two-dimensional top-down perspective. But what I like about this row game is that this is a much more first-person perspective. And the reason I like this visual perspective is because I can focus my eyes and focus my mind much more conveniently at the center of my screen. And giving me a consistent area of screen to focus helps me to relax my mind faster, and helps me to process the game's data much easier. Because I dislike when too many games are designed so that information or user interface elements are spread all over my screen, and in urgent or during urgent or dangerous times in those games, my attention is split to multiple parts of the screen very quickly, and that is a source of negative user experience to me. So if game designers want to create a more user-friendly experience, I believe they should be trying to minimize how much mental burden that the audience would experience. Which ultimately means I have a very human brain, and this human brain has very real limits. And when games exceed my limits of comfortably processing game data, which may involve all of my senses, and a game that presents fairly complex information, then I will eventually feel overwhelmed. And there are times when I want to engage with my games in a way that is engaging enough to replay, but also enables my mind to relax at the same time. And I like these game experience discussions as well, because I can share my experience with games, and maybe game designers are not as aware what is the impact of how they design their games for people like me. One more reason I like this row game I am playing now is that this game captures my preferred experience of persistent long-term growth. So what that means is the more I play and the more I fail in my game, the stronger my character becomes. The stronger my character, the better my character, the faster my character, the tougher my character. So I like this type of experience because this rewards persistence effort, and this experience does not punish failure. And as a person that I believe is extremely introvert, I do not require the same stimulating difficulty that most people seem to want. Wow, that is massive arrow damage. And I like the consistent structure of this row game as well. So there are two main experiences. One is surviving the main dangers in the very long corridor. And the second experience is this restful upgrade part before I return to the dungeon. And this game strongly communicates to me, or greatly reinforces to me, this is a game about growing and failing and upgrading in a very, very user-friendly way. And I like this type of game experience. This core experience of continuous growth through those upgrades, and a very accessible user experience. This I can imagine me playing this game for the remainder of my life with equally high happiness. So that means I briefly want to say thank you to the game designer and game developer of this game, because you have created a game experience or a collection of game experiences that I have been searching for much of my life. And I am not very interested with what seem to be trending and very popular games for the majority of other people. And that there is no problem with other people liking those games. But me personally, I feel much more happiness and much more joy when I engage games that are very user-friendly and reward persistent effort instead of punishing failure. And I like this. I can already sense in my mind that I feel more relaxed as I play this game. And I briefly noticed earlier, I like how this game communicates its own systems with no need for overwhelming text explanations. So I noticed this blue bar draining earlier in this playthrough, and my guess is this represents armor, and the armor temporarily protects me from health drain. And earlier when I was upgrading this part of my, or this area, I stopped wanting to upgrade armor because I did not understand what was the impact of this choice to my experience. And what this game explained to me at the very beginning is that my health is always draining. So upgrading maximum health seems like one of the best decisions, because I understand that will extend the time I will survive in this dungeon. Fire continuously by holding left click. From a user experience perspective, I like having breaks between my pressing of mouse, or breaks between pressing keyboard buttons. And I searched many Steam games by going to the Steam store general search and trying to filter by specific tags or labels. And there were not many games that give me the experience I want. And I was not able to find any game that was similar to Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. And one reason I committed so many hours to that Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 game is because that game captures some of the experiences I highly value. One of those experiences is this continuous this continuous growth and upgrades between dungeon playthroughs. And I like when there are no limits to how much I can upgrade my character. And if I was ever given the choice between playing a very easy game experience or playing a very difficult experience, I would very likely choose to play the easier experience, because I struggle with games, and I struggle with my life much more easily than the average person. And that means my that means my motivations and my needs, they can be very different to other people. Which is valid. We all have different brains that operate in different ways. So, for example, most people feel bored. So one of their persistent life needs is to seek external stimulation, and that stimulation might mean engaging with difficult games. That might mean sharing time and sharing space with other people in loud spaces. But based on my introspection and based on anecdotal evidence, from me observing my experiences through my life, through multiple years, I feel fairly confident that my brain is rarely or never able to feel bored. So that gives me a unique challenge, because my mind is much more likely to feel overwhelmed. So instead of seeking stimulating difficulties like some other people, I instead seek boring, non-stimulating, quiet spaces, because that is where my mind thrives. And I like understanding my own brain in this fairly deep way, because the more that I understand my own brain, the easier I can support my own brain through my decisions, or I would choose a lifestyle that supports my needs much better. And as a friendly reminder, I believe all people's choices are valid. So what I mean in this context is I am the type of person that values knowledge and values as much understanding of myself. And there are other people that may choose to not understand their brain as much. And that is okay. We all have different needs, and what we consider important to us may not be the same importance for other people in the same ways, for the same reasons, with the same intensity. I want to increase my character's damage, but I cannot find any simple option. So maybe I will choose this shoot. Oh, that is amazing. I wish more game designers did this. I wish they gave us options to automate to automate parts of the game experience. Oh, this is amazing. I wish I was told earlier that this automatic feature was available, because I would have chosen this path of upgrades much sooner. Great. I like this. Now that attacking is automatic, the effort required for me to successfully progress through this game is now less effort. And that one upgrade suddenly made this game experience more accessible to me, which was already very accessible. So thank you game designer. I prefer to focus more of my time and more of my energy progressing through my games instead of struggles that harshly block my progress unless I pass some kind of skill requirement. Ideally, I want to engage with games that require no dexterity skill. Partly because eventually in my future, I will not be able to maintain enough skill to play very demanding games. I may eventually become a very old and a very slow person. And if I enjoy my games enough, I want to be able to play those games as much as I can into my future older life. And one reason I do not I do not engage with competition games because they often demand extremely high amounts of skill. And those skills must be practiced and maintained with excessive time commitment. And I want to enjoy my games as a relaxing and joyful hobby in my spare time. And I do not want my game experiences to become like a stressful full-time job. But yes, I really need this relaxation experience now. And this game is amazing for giving me this experience. I wish I wish more other games designed their spaces more like this. Why not create game spaces that are these very long, narrow corridors because because causing confusion and causing struggle with a fairly complex space that does not add to my experience. I I rarely or I never ever approach my games thinking, oh, this game has so much complex space. I must navigate this complex space with complex with complex working memory, and I must refer to this map, and I must search Google, and I must walk in 15 billion directions at the same time. I have never ever wanted to play games because I wanted to experience difficult space navigation. Each prestige has more difficult enemies and more resources. Okay, I can try. That was funny. I was not expecting to be destroyed, or I was not expecting to fail very hard with the first monster. As a user experience critique, I would have liked to choose my prestige level when I choose retry. But because I did not want to buy any more upgrades for now. So from my perspective, this seemed to add some unnecessary steps to my experience, which may not seem like much now, but as I said earlier, if games are designed in ways that have multiple small inconveniences, then the more frequently I experience those inconveniences, the much more exponentially faster that my mind will exhaust. So game designers, please respect the limits of the human brain, because the people that play your game, they might be a child. They might be a grandparent. They might be a person that does not play much games. Or they might be a person who wants to explore your game for the very first time. And if as game designers you can create a much much more accessible game experience, then you might discover that people that typically would not play your type of game, they might like your game much more. At least that is what I would like to believe. I probably would enjoy playing much more games that people create. Only if they create their games that produces very accessible experiences. And when I say accessible, I mean from a neuro-spicy perspective. So what would be accessible to me would be games that are very easy to learn. Games that are very easy to understand. And games I can familiarize very easily. Games that do not cause me to feel overwhelmed. Games that do not ask me to engage with too many decisions per second. And so that there are many negative game experiences I can easily describe. And most people probably never ever notice, or they simply do not care, because if their brain craves stimulation, then struggling to navigate a game space, or struggling to engage with a game's user interface, that can support their need for stimulating difficulty. But I do not have that same need. So what I instead experience is much more user experience stress. And I am much more sensitive to a game's negative user experience. But one of the strengths of having a brain that never ever feels bored is that I can entertain myself very easily. And I am much more likely to build spaces that support stability and support safety, both for myself and for the people around me. And unfortunately, I have realized one of the challenges of continued survival of the human species is that people have this desire for stimulation. So what that can mean is instead of those people prioritizing better world infrastructure and instead of growing better communities and instead of trying to solve many long-term problems, that desire for stimulation is one reason that creates chaos in this world. And that fundamental brain desire to avoid boredom might be one of the reasons why some people thrive in areas like politics, or some people some people just want to stir conflict, or some people just want to be always angry. So when people are devoting so much time towards stimulation, which can be destructive to other people, then less time and less energy is committed to supporting the humans that live in this world, which is slightly sad, because that human nature is probably going to destroy the human species sometime in the future. And I wish there were more people with similar brains to me, because we are much more likely to preserve humans. I believe we are much more likely to build a much more safer world. We are much more likely to build better world infrastructure. And from a business perspective, we probably thrive in spaces that provide consistent high quality service to customers. So I might be talking with some tangents, and that is becoming slightly less about game design and game experiences. But I want to be comfortable with my natural self, and part of who I naturally am as a person is I have a very hyperactive mind that can easily recall loosely related thoughts. another game design comment is I really like the pace of this row game I am playing now. For my brain specifically, I like that the pace at which new information is introduced to me. I can process in a fairly comfortable pace. And I dislike games including Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 that presents danger too quickly and too intensely and very suddenly. Which often causes me to panic. And often causes me to exhaust my working memory just to react to those dangers and to try to desperately survive. But I like this game. This game introduces dangers fairly slowly. Wow. I did not know the dagger attack range could be upgraded that much. This dagger now has almost the same range as my arrows. I love this game. Can I pause? Great. This feature or experience I want in my games too. Because my lifestyle requires that I have I have regular breaks from my games, and being able to stop my game so I can continue later is really helpful. I did not realize I can unlock more arrow upgrades. I I feel very relaxed when playing this game, and I imagine I will want to play this game many times in my future. And I may have finally discovered the first game I can comfortably relax with. Too many other games I have played, they are often too intense or too stressful, or the user interface, or some minor frustrations quickly add up. And I like the visual aesthetic of this game as well. my opinion is that this visual presentation is very polished and very pleasing to look at. These details in the game space, like the textures on the walls and these entire wall surfaces, ceiling and ground, they are all very polished and clear. So I like that. My one critique about this user interface, why not simplify this interface? There are buttons in so many directions, and when these number of buttons become too large, this might become much more difficult for me to find one single upgrade in this big mess of buttons. And why not reorganize these upgrade paths to be much more linear? So for example, why not start at one extreme end of this space, and then one upgrade, and then next upgrade path, and then next upgrade path. And when the upgrade paths can branch or can diverge to multiple paths, why not have those upgrade paths that they all branch in the same direction? Because here this upgrade splitting to these two paths, this is splitting in the up direction. This upgrade here is splitting toward the right direction. So this is a very messy space of data that can make people feel overwhelmed. As a friendly reminder to all game designers, I am a human that is choosing to engage with your game, and my human brain has its limits. And when a game presents data that is not organized enough, my brain must work much harder to organize that messy data, and my mind has to work even harder to remind myself how to organize that messy data. And if that messy data is presented more than once, or that there is a pattern of messy data in multiple screens, multiple windows, my brain is even more overburdened with all of that data crunching. So please, game designers in general, please stop presenting these artistically complex visuals that is not very organized. I can organize a straight line, and I can organize a clear, consistent pattern of data in my mind much easier than this complex, artistic, messy spray all over my screen. If I had to choose between art or engineering, I am more likely to choose the engineering, because they can probably create more user-friendly experiences. Maybe if they are not too deeply engaged with the complexities of the technology. But I would like to believe that great engineers always subtract all of the fat from their work. And I do not want to see all of this fat data just consuming all of this space and consuming my mind space. I want data organized in a way that my mind can access and my mind can recall much easier. Not this two-dimensional vomit. But to be clear, I am not trying to insult this game designer. They have successfully created the type of game experience I enjoy most. But my natural growth mindset is always wanting to improve and always wanting to see other improvements in this world. So that means if there are ways that games can improve, no matter how small, I am much more likely to notice, and more likely to consider these improvements as important, especially in this context, as a neurospicy person that struggles too much with user experience. And when I detect user experience improvement opportunities, I do want to mention wow, increase arrow damage by 4,000. I wish more games had this type of upgrade system. These numbers clearly communicate to me the impact of my choices. When I first started to play this game, my damage was roughly 30 or 60. So having the choice now to increase my damage by at least 1,000% of what I or at least 100% more damage than what I started with. That is amazing. And this is a very high impact choice. I like this. Too many at least some game designers, they seem to obsess too much about symmetric balance. And when they do that, they change the game experience, because any choice or any positive upgrade becomes much less impact, which means they are which means I am much less motivated to engage with those choices. These are the type of upgrades that I want in my games. Increase my damage by 6,000%. Increase my toughness by 10,000%. Reduce the number of enemies by 50%. Slow down time by by 50%. I love big impact choices because that enables me to choose my preferred game experience. Oh wow, even more, 18,000. I was excited by 4,000, and this just became much better. Thank you, game designer. Thank you so much for designing your upgrade system with these very high impact choices. This gives me a strong feedback that my choices matter, and this has a massive desired positive impact to my experience. That is amazing. My character is now much stronger. Oh, wait. Do these achievements give me rewards? Oh, that I did not know that. That is great. Okay, this that is one game design improvement area. Please do, and this is a message for all game designers. Please stop describing what these choices do, and please explain what is the impact of those choices. What is the clear unambiguous impact of my choices as a person engaging with this game. So instead of saying unlock achievements tab, I would say unlock greater rewards through, or unlock rewards through completed achievements. Because the more that I clearly understand the impact of my choices, the much easier and much faster I can make those choices, which reduces the mental burden of a game on me. And the more energy I can commit to playing the game and to enjoy my game. This is great. Now I have much more coins. I I suddenly feel much happier. These this high impact upgrade system gives me a great experience of progression, because now my mind expects each time that I unlock more and more new upgrades, those upgrades are most likely able to give me a massive benefit to my experience. And that is a very satisfying experience that I am not sure if game designers are aware of. It is very enjoyable to me when my choices, when most or all of my choices in my games result in large desired impact to my experience, which means the game experience becomes much more exciting. So does the black box mean I can receive the reward now, or okay, become a benevolent entity? I I do not want to say this three-letter word because I do not believe in religion. Okay. Ah, I guess sometimes I can unlock more upgrades when I fully upgrade one button. Hmm. Which surprised me because often if I choose one upgrade, that unlocks more upgrades. Hmm. Hmm. I I enjoy this game so much. I believe I enjoy this game. This row game I am playing now much more than Crash Bandicoot. And one reason I enjoyed those Crash Bandicoot games was they presented a relatively simple space to navigate through. I could easily I could easily imagine most of those Crash Bandicoot levels, they were just a very long corridor with some turns and some dangers, but it was a very focused, almost narrow path. Yay! I defeated this dungeon's boss at this prestige level. Yay! Wow, I like this weapon. Continuous damage to the enemies. That to me is like another form of automation. So automated damage to the enemies. Wow, fire one additional arrow. So that means one more of this 18,000 boosted arrows. That is amazing. Wow, I just realized each of these chests dropped by these monsters, they give me 100 gold. I really like the way this game's progression has been designed, because upgrades are very high impact and very very clear to me that my upgrade choices translate to a strong step in growth. So I am always having this understanding and expectation that I am always growing in this game, because those times when I upgrade or grow, they are big, meaningful leaps of of improvement. And I like when I engage with the higher difficulty, or engage with the higher prestige levels. This game gives me much more rewards. That seems like a fair increase to how much more struggle I might experience. I dislike when games give me so many upgrade choices that are very low impact to my experience. So the choices are not very exciting and not very motivating for me to engage with. And when the game gives me much larger difficulties, there does not seem to be much larger rewards to compensate for how much more stress I might experience. So I really like this game's design. That there is a very clear and strong feedback that I am always growing in big, meaningful ways. And not many games I have played give me this consistent growth experience. Especially when game designers they accidentally introduce new difficulties too soon. So even if I experienced a very high impact upgrade, it would not seem like that my character grew, because there was such a massive corresponding increase in the enemy difficulty that removed that sense of big upgrade, if that makes sense. So what I believe game designers should do, or one way they can solve this problem, if I am using this phrase correctly, but game designers should give us a grace period. Wow, 450,000 damage. So when I say grace period, I mean if the player is given some upgrade choice at any single time, when they choose those upgrades, all of the enemies and all of the dangers should stop growing in difficulty, at least for a short time, so that from the player perspective, the upgrade would seem like a much more meaningful impact. But if what would be a terrible experience what if I chose this upgrade now to increase my damage by 450,000, and then immediately after, all of the enemies gain 450,000 health points. Then from a user experience perspective, this upgrade did not change my experience at all. So game designers should be careful, I believe, about how quickly they choose the enemies to upgrade their difficulty, relative to how quickly the player chooses to upgrade their tools. That description is funny to me. Arrow increases critic chance by 20%. My guess is that refers to critical chance, or the chance that my attacks will inflict much more damage. But because this says critic, I now have this funny thought that this upgrade will enable all of my attacks to have some human brain, and these arrows will now critique the game experience for me. That is funny. That is very, very funny to me. I was suddenly thinking, and I want to mention, I like the way this rogue game designed this difficulty pacing. So my preferred game experience and this is similar to the design in Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. And my preference is that difficulty starts very low and increases slowly as I progress, and that difficulty increases in a way that is slow enough that I can mentally prepare for, and also increase in a way that is very predictable to me. Because when I make mistakes, or when I fail in this game, or with any game that I engage with, the more that I expected difficulty to happen, because they follow some consistent pattern, then the more likely I will tolerate failures and mistakes. Because it is clearer to me that my mistakes or my choices caused my failure, and not because the game presented difficulty at me faster than I can comfortably manage. And this can be a challenge for game designers, because we have a massive neurodiversity between all people in this planet. And what people would consider the best paced experience can largely vary. Which means people that feel easily bored, they prefer a much faster paced experience, because their brain craves much more of that stimulating difficulty. And for people like me, my ideal pace of play is much more what this rogue game gives me, which is very slow, and new dangers are they are introduced once every maybe 5-6 seconds. And as I approach those dangers, I have plenty of time to aim my attacks. I have plenty of time to try to defend myself. And this, and what I experience now with this rogue game is a much more ideal difficulty pace for me personally. And my choice of preferred games seems to be very limited currently, because most games, they are designed for most people. Partly because businesses want to earn as much money as they can from selling their games. But even when game designers want to create a focused niche experience that aligns with what they enjoy, those game designers, they are still part of the majority of people that do not have the same experiences as me. So that means I am unfortunate with my choice of games, because most games, for various reasons, were designed to appeal for types of brains that are very different to mine. So most people like stimulation, and they would experience that stimulation from difficult core experiences. They would experience that stimulation from overly complex user interface, and that means less games are being created that I would deeply enjoy. But I feel very glad that I discovered this game. And I wish more games with this type of experience, those games are created in future. Wow, increases dagger damage by 450,000 again. Yes, yes, please. I agree. I very agree. Wow. Arrow damage by 240,000? I extremely agree. Critic chance increased by 40%. So my arrows will critique this game 40% more times. That is funny to me. Oh, increase more arrow damage. Yes, yes, please. I really like this game experience. This row game I am playing now, and I am recording as well. And the way this space is organized is much more focused and much easier to navigate. I would question game designers. Why do you always must create your games in very complex spaces? Why do we need large two-dimensional fields of space that we must navigate through? Why do we need levels that have winding, twisting paths? Why can we not replace game spaces with much more straight paths? There is a related phrase from mathematics. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if game designers want to respect the time and respect the mental energy of the people playing their games, please simplify your game space. And why give us large open spaces when we can only choose a maximum of one direction that we can travel to? This seems like the same problem earlier in the game industry. when games change their space from visual 2 dimensions to three-dimensional space, and my personal belief is that the extra complexity with game space possible does not actually add much value. And that is anecdotally proven true, because today or during our time when this video was uploaded to YouTube, many games are created with a 2-dimensional space still, and people still seem to enjoy playing those games. So while we can create 3-dimensional spaces, that does not mean that we should. Unless the game designers involved have a very specific vision for their game experience, and the only way to realize that vision or that intent is to create their game inside three-dimensional space. And this game I am playing now, this row game, I believe this is easily represented as a two-dimensional game, because oh yay, more gems. That means I can buy some more of these upgrades. These arrow damage. But to finish my recent thought, yes, this game perspective now seems to be three dimensions, because that there is a clear distance in front of me. There is a ceiling there is a floor, but I can only move left or right. So if I were to change the perspective of this game to be tracking my movement from the ceiling, then this would definitely appear as a two-dimensional game visually, because I am only moving through a two-dimensional flat space, and I can only move left or right. I cannot levitate up, and I cannot sink down further. So this is very much I do not know what the phrase is, but this is essentially a two-dimensional space, but visually is three-dimensional. I may have a better way to describe. This is a two-dimensional space presented as a three-dimensional space. So similar to how people might describe the original Doom games by id Software. Because that game space is similar to this one, because we can only move left, right, forward, and back on what is ultimately a flat space that you can draw a map of. But when the game is presented to the human eyes, the graphics or the visual representation makes it appear much more three-dimensional. So that is like a great visual illusion with games to make them appear much more amazing than they actually are, which is okay. Okay. I am very curious to observe this operating third eye. Continuous damage seems really useful. Oh wow, beam damage. So is the eye shooting laser beams? 5 million damage. That seems amazing. But 5 million damage? I must observe this. This seems very interesting. Oh, that is great. That is amazing. This constant laser beam. I like this. I like this game so much. This game makes me feel very happy. I really love all of these design decisions. that when combined creates a richly satisfying experience for me. Oh, 5 million damage. That is amazing. Okay, I am conserving my money so I can buy these upgrades as soon as possible. Okay, now I want 5 million more damage. Beam damage rate. Okay, I want that rate upgrade next. Wow, I have 10,000 coins. That is satisfying. I like I like how my rewards increase aggressively, which seems like a very fair balance with the greatly increased difficulty. Because the enemies now they have millions of health points. Okay, this is a game design improvements that could be made. Please game designers, explain the impact of my choices very clearly. Increasing beam damage rate by 1 does not really mean much to me. What does this arbitrary number 1 mean? Is that 100%? Is that 1 out of 1 million? Like what does this abstract number actually refer to? So I do not know if this is a large impact. Like is the laser attack speed doubled now? Is the attack speed tripled? Is the attack speed only 0.0000000000000000001% faster, which is an absolute almost zero impact choice. I believe game designers should much better communicate the impact of my choices, not just what does the choice do. Just telling me that I gained number 1, or that I gained 3 of this, or I gained 5% of that. That does not really I struggle to understand how that description translates to some kind of impactful experience. And instead, this description should say something like increases the rate of damage by 100%, or doubles the rate of damage, or or some or it increases damage per second by 50%. Something I can actually understand and actually translate to a clear impact to my experience. Not and not some number that serves as some input to some invisible mathematical formula somewhere deep inside the game. So game designers, to try and summarize, please do not explain too much what the player choices do. Please instead explain what is the impact of those choices to our experience. Because at least for me, when I engage with games, I am motivated by how I can impact my experience. I am not motivated by being overwhelmed by random abstract numbers. I want to understand how those numbers translate to some impact to my experience. And because if the impact is clear and big enough, I can choose where to apply those impacts. And that way, and that means I can tailor my game experience to support my joy much better. But if something says it increases my damage by 1%, but when I engage with the danger, and I still require the same amount of time and the same amount of effort to defeat the enemies, then that increase in that number had absolute zero impact to my experience. And because these upgrades or these choices may cost me resources, if my resources are very finite, or if there is great struggle to acquire those resources, then having a clear understanding between choice and impact helps me to prioritize my choices. So this might not be obvious to many game designers, but I have a very deep decision logic process when I engage with my games, and I prefer to play games that supports the way that I naturally think, and and the natural way that I arrive at decisions. And the friendlier a game experience to me, the much more likely I will want to play that game. And a friendlier game experience means I am more likely to tolerate frustrations with that game. And a friendlier game experience also means I am more likely to replay that game as well. So maybe this is difficult for some business people to understand. But I believe a high quality, friendly user game experience is extremely important, because that means the game can be accessible to a much wider audience, which means more people are willing to play that game. And that also means those people are more willing to buy those games too. So if we can create games that are extremely friendly to a massive neurodiversity, that helps give the customers more joy. That helps the business people earn more money. We all gain from better user experience. I I may have shared this story that I am thinking about previously, but I will repeat this story to be inclusive of people that have never ever heard of this story. So I will try to summarize this story now. And that there is a widely impactful experience to many people named the curb cut effect. Wow, 10 million more damage. So the story about the curb cut effect was that sometime in earlier history, I I I forget who, but government or some authority, they wanted to support the disabled wheelchair bound people better. So what they decided on those street curbs, or the areas between where the roads park, I mean where the cars park, and where people walk on the footpath, that edge is the curb. And what happened was it was decided to cut some of those curbs so that people who sit in wheelchairs, they have much easier access between footpath and the road. But that decision to cut those curbs incidentally improved life for people that do not use wheelchairs. So suddenly, children who ride skateboards, or they ride rollerblades, they can use these cut curbs as well. Suddenly, couriers or people that deliver items on some kind of transport that uses wheels, that they push around with their hands, those couriers can also use those cut curbs to make their life easier. So the main reason I raised that story is that relates to what I was saying about designing much better game experiences. So if we as game designers try to create much more accessible game experiences for the people that struggle the most, we might discover that much more people benefit than just those people that have those bigger struggles. And that was exactly what happened with the curb cut effect. So initially the intent was to help people that use wheelchairs, but we incidentally we we incidentally supported many people that do not use wheelchairs. So I like this idea of if we as communities of people, if we try to actively solve problems with accessibility, we might make this world a much better and much safer place for all of us. So that might mean we have to work with, and we must listen to the most disabled people. And if we can design a world that the most disabled people can operate in fairly easily, that could improve the quality of life for all other humans. And those types of ideas really excite me. And I wish this world was a much more accessible place to live, to learn, and to grow. And a more accessible world also supports children in future generations. So solving this problem of accessibility could be a massive positive impact to the entire world. I was also thinking, I discovered a unique game design experience that I can tolerate better. But only in this specific context. So I may have mentioned in the other recorded game videos in this channel that I highly dislike pressure, and I dislike arbitrary urgency in my games, because I have a very high risk of feeling stressed. and the intensity of stress I experience distracts me from experiencing joy. So that means typically in any game, I avoid games that involve some constant timer or games that give me limited time to complete specific actions. And that type of urgency means it is more difficult for me to engage with my games at a pace that is more comfortable for me. And because I have a high risk of experiencing stress very easily and very, very intensely, I typically avoid any kind of pressure. And I typically try to avoid any games which not only have intense urgency, but very harsh punishment if I fail to act fast enough. Okay, I am a little distracted because I discovered some new upgrades. One moment while I focus. Increases maximum armor by 500. I love that large impact boost. Oh, why did this level drain most of my armor in the first few seconds? My armor did not survive much. Can I later unlock regenerating armor? That would be amazing. I I forget what I was previously talking about. Be, be, before I was distracted by the upgrades. But that is okay. I am aware. I can forget. I can forget details in my working memory too easily. Why would I want the ability to slow down? My guess is that I I want to progress to the end of the level as quickly as I can. Hmm. Okay. And that is another example of a game not describing the impact clearly, and with a poor understanding of how my choices translate to impact. I am much less likely to engage with those choices, especially if my choices cost me some kinds of finite resource. Hmm. Reduces the damage dealt by the row. This description is also not clear to me. Does this mean the amount of my health points drained as I progress through the levels, is that damage reduced, or does this only reduce damage from enemies that touch me? I wish I had a much clearer understanding of the impact of my choices. so I can more easily choose how to impact my experience. I now have much more armor. Can my armor now survive much more time? Wow, 2,000 armor. Yes, and my maximum armor is requires much more time before being destroyed. Okay, that is amazing. Another small complaint I have about this game experience is that I dislike the existence of these active abilities. They could be very useful, which motivates me to use the abilities, but I prefer to build my character through automatic passive abilities only, like most of these upgrades. Because active abilities add much more complexity to the game experience. And that reduces the user friendliness of this game. Because suddenly I must now track these extra abilities in my mind, which increases the mental burden of my play. And I have the extra burden of deciding when do I activate these active abilities, and when I am not given much time to decide, that can also drain my mind as well. I prefer the option to change my active abilities to passive abilities, and those now passive abilities will always activate as soon as possible. Because yes, that is so much more user experience and much more user interface mental burden. And there is a limit to how much mental burden I can experience before I feel overwhelmed, and before I feel very exhausted. So I wish game designers actively prevented people from experiencing their brain limits when they engage with the games. And with these active abilities, that means much more buttons and much more controls and hand placement that I must reserve in my working memory to engage successfully with my games. And ideally, okay, this is a much better game description. Triples my dagger damage. I can easily understand the maths in. I can understand the mathematics in my mind. 3 times something is much better than one times something. Similar here. This is amazing. Three times arrow damage. Much better than one times the same arrow damage. Wow, I achieved 60,000, 60 million arrow damage. I now expect my character to be much stronger. I I love this game. I like multiple of the game design decisions of this game. And I am noticing now as well at the right side of my screen, that harvester ability requires a cooldown time before I can use the ability again. That is also not very user friendly, because now if I want to use that ability more often, I must divide my attention between the center of the screen and the side of my screen. So that can add much more mental burden. So I dislike games that give us I dislike games that give us too many unique active abilities, because especially when combined with systems like cooldown, that creates extremely high mental burden to track all of those details in my mind. I had to keep looking back there. Is the cooldown finished? Is the cooldown finished? Is the cooldown finished? Is there treasure nearby? Is there treasure nearby? Did I press the cooldown? My brain's logic system is very easily overloaded. So I ideally, when I engage with my game, I should only ever have to press a maximum of one to three buttons. If I have to juggle my mind between 10 or more buttons, that would be a very user unfriendly experience. And in those instances, I would ask the game designers, why does your game need that many buttons? I might have almost completed all of my upgrades. I am not unlocking much more upgrades at the moment. This is a very visually noisy space. This is now much more difficult for me to understand which upgrades I did finish. But this seems like I did finish most of these upgrades. And I have so much money now, which is great, because I can buy much more of these upgrades. Now I suddenly realized, if I have all of these upgrades, is Prestige 3 the final level? Great. I love this game. That was very satisfying. That boss died almost instantly. If I were to create my own game, I would very much create this type of experience. And I feel relieved that I discovered this game. Yay, I did. I was correct. This is the final prestige level. Yay. Oh, I can unlock something. What does this mean? But I need more resources. But yes, to finish my recent thought, if I had unlimited creative freedom and I wanted to design and build a game experience that suits me most, then I would design a game very similar to this rogue game that I am playing now. And I feel relieved that I discovered this game, because that means if I want to experience that very suitable game for me, I do not need to create that game anymore. This person created this game already, and I felt very happy to pay money to have this experience. And I enjoy this game. Even if I have completed or experienced all of this game's content, I still want to continue playing. Because this game is a positive value in my life. By supporting my mental health, by giving me ways to relax my mind much easier and much faster. Which means I deeply enjoy engaging with this game with my time, because this game engages my mind and relaxes my mind at the same time. And that type of experience is often a struggle in my life. Because I am often either stressed and struggling, or I am very relaxed, but too relaxed that I immediately want to sleep. Oh, why did I not survive that time? Have I not defeated that same boss repeatedly? Is that in infinity symbol? Congratulations, you have mastered the row. Your power has no rival. So great that the world trembles at your name. You are supreme, a being higher than human limits, capable of shaping the fate of all who live beneath you. Oh, why do people have to live beneath me? Why can we not live together? Now the choice is yours. Will you be a gracious God, spreading harmony and success to the world? Or will you claim your darkness? No. I choose generosity. You are no longer a diver, but row diver. Is that the game's name? Row diver, but a god, a beacon of hope to a world that was once lost to anarchy. what does anarchy mean? I I forget. Is that chaos? You wield your power to bring peace when there was war, justice instead of corruption, and healing to stop the pain. The road tried to kill you, but I shaped I shaped into a force of healing and greatness. Nations disarm, the skies clear, and the earth heals. Amazing. I am very, very amazing. You are the keeper of balance, defender of life that this world has wanted. Oh, yes. Oh, I am so great. Oh, why why is the perspective tilted? Thank you, person named Hermerx. I really enjoyed this game experience. And this is version 1.0.8. I I finished this game much sooner than I expected. And I enjoyed I enjoyed 99% of my time with this game. This game is not perfect. There are game design experience improvements that I believe could happen. But this might be the first game I have ever played that has relaxed my mind this much and been a very pleasantly engaging experience. This game is what I would describe as very, very cozy for my specific brain. Games like Stardew Valley, they are much more stressful to me because they have this urgency and daily sleep punishment always active. I need a break from intense punishing urgency, or just never adds punishing urgency to the game. I I I like those games too. But this specific game, there was urgency because my health points were always draining over time. But I was able to tolerate this game's urgency because the execution was actually very clever. Because when I play, the amount of effort required for me to minimally survive in this game is so extremely small and because my controls were limited to just moving left or right, I was able to tolerate that urgency much more easily, because no matter how much I wiggle my character left or right, I would not have been able to finish the level faster. So if the game presents urgency and there is nothing I can do with my actions, and nothing I can do with my skill to resist that urgency, then that means there is no pressure and no stress on me to try to play in a much more difficult way. So this is one of those rare times that I will tolerate game urgency, because resisting or blocking that urgency is not linked to my actions, not linked to my skills, and most importantly, not linked to my executive functioning working memory. So when I have less mental burden, I can focus on just maintaining my comfortable pattern of play. I believe I will play this game more after I stop this recording. But I want to stop this recording very soon, because I have showed plenty of this game experience, and I am very content with my expressions and comments about this game experience. So yes, this is the Row Divers game. If you might enjoy this game, you are welcome to buy this game if you choose. If you may not like this game, you are welcome to avoid this game and focus your time with games that you might enjoy more. Or maybe you are not a person maybe you are not a person that plays games. That is very valid too. I will now stop this recording, and thank you for listening.